Dear ladies and gentlemen, so-called believers and unbelievers, this is the last chapter in our very successful series of 268 videos that we call the Idiot's Guide to Islam. Please note that this chapter is presented in 3 short videos. For us, the success of this series is not measured by the number of hits or even subscribers, but by the fact that we have not had a single chapter of ours actually refuted or genuinely disproved, except in the warped imaginations of the followers of Muhammad. Although we have chosen to end our current series with this chapter, please be assured that we have not run out of topics to discuss. Even discounting our continuing researches, we already have ample material we could share to further illustrate yet more of the many depravities of this cult. Rather than continue to depress you with yet more insights regarding the inevitably perverse and psychologically disturbed mindset and behavior of the majority of this cult's members, we felt the time has come to instead refresh you, perhaps even pleasantly surprise you, with a positive and practical way forward that will enable us to rally all of our fellow kuffar, and we hope ultimately lead to a universal defense against the scourge of Muhammadan Islam. In the previous chapter 212, we summarized a number of literally explosive conclusions, shattering many of the best known and most widely believed myths about Muhammadan Islam in the process. Before moving on, we would again like to recap, although this time emphasizing and illuminating some slightly different points. In overturning many of the centuries-old deceptions perpetrated by the followers of Muhammad, we have proven many things. For example, that Islam means submission, not peace. That any human being who subscribes to the will of one God is automatically a Muslim, according to the original Arabic language, and this has absolutely nothing to do with a belief in either Muhammad or his ungodly Quran. That we know Allah is most certainly not the same as the God of Abraham, Moses, or Jesus, because Muhammad projected a completely different personality and agenda onto him. In any case, Allah was the name of the supreme rock god of the Quraysh centuries before the time of Muhammad and his Quran. We have demonstrated that women in Jahiliyyah had more rights and liberties under pagan Arabs than they now have in the subjugated and humiliation under Muhammadan Islam. A spectacular example of this was Khadija, the wealthy widow who first employed, then married Muhammad long before he invented his version of Islam. We have overwhelmingly proved that Muhammadan Islam is neither tolerant nor egalitarian. Muhammad's Quran is filled with incitements to horrific violence and unthinking prejudice that are still accepted as reasonable and a core to Islam everywhere. For example, while we find the following instruction bizarrely dramatic and vile, to a follower of Muhammad it sounds perfectly sensible and the right thing to do. Muhammad 47.4. فَإِذَا لَقَيْتُمُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فَضَرَّبَ الرِّقَابِ. Considering the fact that unbelievers are all humans, the absolute majority, who do not submit to Muhammad's Allah nor accept Muhammad as a prophet, where then lies the claim of Islamic tolerance? Better still, listen to our chapter 26, the Charter of Umar, and be truly shocked and disgusted. Having listened through our series, you should no longer be in any doubt that jihad, as clearly defined in both Muhammad's Quran and the Hadiths, really does comprise many forms of relentless wars of aggression and attrition against all humans who do not believe in Allah and in Muhammad as his messenger. We have clearly shown that the single real purpose of jihad in Muhammadan Islam is to find and use all means possible to force into conversion, subjugation, or extermination all other humans who have different beliefs. Please, do not for a moment be fooled into believing it's merely some form of private inner spiritual struggle. It most definitely is not. Al-Tawbah 9:29 قاتلوا الذين لا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر ولا يحرمون ما حرم الله ورسوله ولا يدينون دين الحق من الذين أوتوا الكتاب حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صاغرون. Not only are the followers of Muhammad to fight the so-called people of the book, Christians and Jews, into submission and humiliation, but also they must do even worse to those of other beliefs. In chapter 212 and elsewhere, we have conclusively demonstrated that the joyless Quran is not merciful, compassionate, or divine, only hateful, warmongering, misogynist, discriminatory, and racist. Perhaps most surprising of all, we have revealed that in Islam, Muhammad, Allah, Gabriel, and Satan are all one and the same. They are all different manifestations of Muhammad and his alter ego. These are some of the widely believed myths about Islam that we have successfully exploded in our series. We are now ready to continue to part B of this final chapter.